Welcome back. Thank you for stopping by MathomBooks. My name is Jeremy, as you guys may be learning. It's great to see you guys out there. We've had a fabulous week. We're just starting today, our second week in the Booktubia world. We're super excited. We're having lots of fun. So thank you guys for all your support and friendliness. Today, I am going to be reviewing the quite amazing book, which many of you guys have heard of, The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. And this review might be a little bit different than others. I'm doing what I'm calling a lyrical review. I'm using the music found in this book to give a perspective on what's going on in this story and how Stephen Chbosky, I think pretty brilliantly, tells the story of Charlie and his adventures, or shall we say, misadventures. So for those of you that have read this story, you know that music plays a very important part in this story. We first get a hint of music when Charlie's sister, the older, more kind of precocious older sister who is not exactly loving, she's kind of this, at least early on, we see her as this, you know, tree-hugging, kind of neo-feminist girl who's dating this guy who makes her a mixtape, and she didn't really like the guy at the time. And so she gives this tape to Charlie, and Charlie's like, hey, I'll listen to it. And so he falls in love with this tape, and one of the songs on it that he points out right away, and this is where music becomes important almost off the bat, is the song by the Smiths called Asleep. Now, the song Asleep is a beautiful song. It's a song I've actually loved myself for many years. Sing me to sleep, sing me to sleep. I'm tired, I want to go to bed. Sing to me. Don't try to wake me in the morning, 'cause I will be gone. Don't feel bad for me, I want you to know. Deep in the cell of my heart, I really want to go. And so you see there's this image of possible death. And what I think Stephen Chbosky is doing with music, and in particular this mixtape, is set up for the reader this potential death, this potential demise of Charlie throughout the entire book. You get this feeling of, wait a second, we know Charlie's a little bit different. We know Charlie is a little bit off. We know Charlie is depressed. We know he's dealt with some very difficult things in his life. Is Charlie going to commit suicide? Is Charlie going to be killed? Charlie identifies with this song very much. It becomes his favorite song throughout the entire story. And it's really the story, if you look at the lyrics, which I am posting the lyrics down below, Morrissey is talking about, it seems, a metaphor for death. I'm going to sleep. Don't try to wake me in the morning because I'm not going to be there. Right? But don't feel bad for me because I want to go. And then one of the last lines, it's one of my favorite lines of all time. I quote it on my Tumblr page, it seems like every month. And that is, there's another world, there's a better world. Well, there must be. And it talks about the pain that we witness in this life, right? Life's hard. People are going through tough things. And that's what this book, I think, is really about, is Charlie, who's this very innocent figure. He is innocently, you might say naively, going through life, and he's being hit and hit and hit and hit left and right, metaphorically, by the ugly parts of the world. The next song that I want to talk about is Scarborough Fair by Simon and Garfunkel, another song that Charlie has put on this mixtape that he gives to his best friend Patrick. This song, I think, is very closely tied to two concepts. One of them, to tie it to what I was talking about before with Asleep, is the concept of death. You get this image in the song Scarborough Fair, now again I'm posting the lyrics down below, is that they're looking for a grave. They're going through and they're looking for the right place for where they might set this grave. There's also this connection to Aunt Helen. the line there is, "She was once a true love of mine." And I think that's exactly what Charlie would say about Aunt Helen. Him and his mom go and visit her grave on a regular basis. He brings her up throughout the story numerous times, including all the way to the very end. And even though, like I said, Aunt Helen's been dead even before the story began, we know that this story ends with quite a drastic conclusion, and it's about Aunt Helen. And so I think that relationship is very important. Also, I think that line, "She was once a great true love of mine," it can be applied to Sam, who we know is a attraction to Charlie. Charlie loves Sam, and this is the girl that is the brother. I'm sorry, she's the sister of Patrick, and it's really Charlie's first love. Charlie falls head over heels. You could call it a crush at first. I think it does develop into true love. He loves this girl, and she's very kind to him. She's beautiful. She's played, by the way, in the film by Hermione Granger, which is really exciting to see Hermione getting into acting now. I'm really excited to see that. But that's what's happening here. I think you see in these lyrics, Stephen Chbosky is pointing again, saying, look, death is possibly looming here, and we have a real insight into Charlie's view of females. As we accept the love that we think we deserve, right? And I think there's something about that line that's also very important for this story. Charlie is, in a sense, searching for what he thinks he deserves. But the fact of the matter is, because he has such a simplistic and naive view of himself and of life, he doesn't think he deserves that much. The next song that I want to talk about, which I think brings out again this motif that I think Stephen Chbosky is trying to bring out through this music, is very powerful. And the song is called MLK. And the song is by the band U2. For those of you that do not know, MLK stands for Martin Luther King. And we all know that Martin Luther King was what? He was assassinated, right? So again, I think you're seeing this reminder that death is maybe just right there. Maybe that death is right around the corner. We also know that MLK, Martin Luther King, he was a martyr in a sense. He died for his cause. And I think that Charlie, in many ways, can be seen as a martyr. He's almost saint-like in the sense that his innocence, his moral purity, from one perspective, is something that we admire and we look up to. He has that open honesty about himself that's very childlike, and children are often seen as cherubic and angelic because of that innocence, because of that beauty that comes from that honesty. He doesn't have any walls. He just says things, As you have this juxtaposition between Martin Luther King, who died for his cause, in a sense a martyr, and Charlie, who will he die for his cause? Is he going to be martyred in some way? And I think that's what, again, Stephen Chbosky's playing with this song. The next song that I think is important to point out is by the Smashing Pumpkins, another great band, and the song is called Daydream. Now this song, it basically is talking about this dream, but you're going crazy. You get this image, it repeats over and over again at the end. I'm going crazy, I'm going crazy. And I think that's the other fear that Stephen Chbosky sets up throughout this book, which is Charlie going to lose it? Is this like a Sylvia Plath novel? Is he going crazy and so we're going to lose him at the end? So that maybe he's not martyred like a Martin Luther King in a literal sense, but maybe he's going to be martyred because we're going to lose him to going to craziness, right? Maybe he's just going to completely lose his mind and in that sense die. A song that I think in a sense encapsulates the entire story, and in a sense his journey, is the song by Fleetwood Mac called Landslide. Now most of you probably know this song. It's a very famous song. It's a very beautiful song. And it has these lines in it. And again, I have the lyrics down below. I took my love and I took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills till the landslide brought it down. And I think that title and that line is so important because Charlie, throughout this entire story, is looking for love. He's, as I think we all are, right? Isn't that the human condition? We all want love. We want to be loved. We want true love. We don't want, you know, flimsy love. And I think Charlie, his story of the landslide, which is life's constant battles, from not having a good relationship with his brother, to not fitting in at school and being the awkward kid, to struggling with how to communicate with people interpersonally, to Charlie's issues with knowing what boundaries are, right? We know there's that pretty poignant scene where he kisses Patrick. And later on, Sam asks him, did you even want to kiss Patrick? And Charlie's like, no, but he did it anyways. And so we have this, you know, this battle where Charlie's trying to learn himself. He's trying to find out what is love. And that's exactly what Landslide is about, but it's about it in a sort of destructive or scary way, in the sense that this landslide crumbles everything down, right? The song also talks about, he says, can I handle the seasons of my life? And I think that gets back to what all these songs have been talking about. Asleep, MLK, Daydream, which is, for the reader, will Charlie survive this? Right? That's like the climax of this story. Will he pull through? Is Charlie going to be alive at the end of this book? Is he going to be sane at the end of this book? And maybe you might say, or go so far as, will he be in love? Will he have love at the end of this book? And I think it's this motif, this kind of constant tension between what's happening in the story and all these, you know, pretty fun and sometimes, you know, beautiful events that are kind of juxtaposed to the dangers there, the dangers of his sanity, the dangers of possible death, that makes this story such a beautiful story and makes it one that you really should go and read. And please read it before you see the movie. Experience those beautiful moments where Charlie says, and we were infinite. When they're listening to the music and living life to the fullest, he was fully participating. That's the beauty of reading. That's the beauty of Stephen Chbosky's work. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, this lyrical review. What I'm really excited about is for you guys to please leave me your thoughts, your comments, questions, disagree with me. Maybe you found other songs on the playlist to be even more important. I'd love to hear your ideas. This is a great book to discuss. Thanks again. We love you. Thank you for subscribing, and we look forward to more coming soon. If you're wondering where I got my great copy of this book, this edition is not available in stores. I actually made this cover myself.